Hey guys, Brian at Gwatney Performance again. We've had a couple builds come through the shop here recently that had some issues that all stem back to the lifter that was used in the build. So I want to take a few minutes to go over the lifters we sell and run in our builds, when you should choose one or the other, and certainly the lifter that you do not want to run. We don't sell it, but we've had a couple builds, like I said, come through. The engines are just trash. They have metal all through them. The camshaft is destroyed, lifters destroyed, block damaged, fairly catastrophic, all to save a few bucks on a set of lifters. So I'm going to start with this first lifter. The best way to identify this lifter, there's two ways. The roller wheel is about 60% the width of what the normal lifter roller wheel is, and we'll put some still shots in here to show you guys that. And there's also a band, a raised band in the middle section here. That's how we've been able to just visually identify these cheap lifters. I don't know where guys are getting these, but as you can see, it took half of the wheel off of it. There's no footprint here. It's very narrow. It's going to damage the lifter. It's going to damage the camshaft, and then the metal is going to run all through your engine. Of course, when the lifter wheel went away, it knocked the guts out of the lifter on the inside, so it's total trash. You know, a good lifter, or a base lifter to start with, this is a factory LS7 lifter. You can see the difference in the width of the roller wheel footprint. Like I said, is about, the cheap lifter is just over half as wide as a good lifter. LS7 lifters are what we use in our basic setups, low lift cams, stuff that's not going to see a ton of RPM and high spring pressure. They're still pretty good lifters for the right application. We try to default though to either the GM Performance part or the Johnson lifters in most situations. But if you have a lower RPM application, low lift cams, very basic daily driver setup that's not seeing a ton of RPM, you got two good options. You've got the LS7 lifter, and you have the Morel 6504. They're going to use the same push rod length. Basically, dimensionally, they're all the same. Those two are the same. No huge differences between the two, other than the Morel, I believe, is a good bit cheaper than what the LS7 lifter is now. The LS7 lifters have gone up in price significantly over the last year or so. Our go-to lifter for probably 60 to 75% of our builds is the GM Performance racing lifter. We call them the Caddy Race Lifter. You can identify it by the bow tie that's lasered on the side of the lifter. The internals are set up a little bit different. Overall height is the same. Plunger height is the same. So again, you will use the same push rod length that you would on a standard LS7 lifter. GM tests these lifters to over 8,000 RPMs. I can tell you we have gone 8,000 plus, and we've ran around 500 pounds of open pressure on spring pressure with these lifters. They work really well. They're not the cheapest lifter, but they work well for high RPM, higher spring pressure applications, stuff that's going to get beat on a lot, more abusive situations. The next step up from there is going to be the Johnson 2110. Also a great lifter. It has about the same plunger travel as the all the other lifters I've already mentioned, which is roughly approximately 200 thousandths of travel. The blade height is a tad higher in the 2110. In most situations, you can use the same push rod, but it's good to check with the Johnson lifters to make sure you get the right length push rod. I would rate this one, 8,000 plus. We've done that with this lifter. We've ran over 500 pounds of open pressure with this lifter. It's been rock solid, and we don't see failures out of these lifters. that's good. They're worth the money. They're a little bit more than the Caddy Race Lifter, but quality's great, and we haven't seen any failures. The next lifter is a 2110R, and the only difference between it and the 2110 are the plunger height. The 2110R has a reduced plunger travel by about 50 thousandths. This lifter sets up with about the same push rod length as the factory style lifters, the LS7, the Caddy Race, and the Morel lifter. Performance characteristics are the same between the 2110R and the 2110. It just has a little less plunger travel. It comes in about 155 thousandths travel, where the 2110 is about 200, in between 200 and 210. The last couple pairs of lifters, and I've only got one pair here, is the ST2116LSRs, the short travel Link Bar Lifters. These are for the most extreme hydraulic roller applications. They are short travel. They are going to need different push rod length. For these lifters, you're going to need to measure, but they are going to offer the highest in quality and durability for your high RPM, high spring pressure applications. That's about as good as you can get with the with hydraulic roller stuff. The Johnson stuff is killer quality. Just wanted to touch on that a little bit. Go over the lifters we sell, what we recommend, and the situations we recommend those products. It's not worth saving $50 or $100 on a set of lifters only to turn around and trash your engine and have thousands of dollars of repair over getting a piece of shit lifter. I mean, that's really what this is. This is about someone buying the cheapest product and trying to make the most money off of it, and it's garbage. Don't put this in your engine. Thanks, guys.